Good morning. This is Beaty-Coffey with the Ministry of Uncovered No More. It's approximately 10:10 Central Time. And in many ways, I am coming back to the beginning of my life. And the end of one life alone. My testimony is Beaty-Coffey, who is not of the Ministry of Uncovered No More. He chose not to be a part of my ministry, and he does respect me in my ministry. So I appreciate you, Curtis. Thank you. But he turned to me I could look it up in this book, but I'm not going to. You get to trust me for just a minute. Because what I am doing is, if I showed you the book that I'm working with, my book, but it's the third volume, I've crossed things out. I'm annihilating it. Here is something that I stated alongside Ralph H. Bloom, Book of Runes, in my copy, which this went to 9 ministries. I'm not going to name them here. It's going to be obvious who I'm working with as I read portions of this book. Again, I've done this several times, been forced off of my own blogs because of the war raging in both Armageddon and the apocalypse. In my personal sorceress life, what is forcing the apocalypse and Armageddon off of my blogs is Archangel Michael, my brother's ministry with me, and I do not know his previous lives. I only know mine. The moment that the King of Kings, in whichever realm we are in, allows my brother and I to speak to one another in knowledge again, I will know his entire history, and I will know more of mine. You need to understand my entire history is already in heavenly books. You need to understand I write heavenly books. You need to understand that when I was writing, because Curtis turned to me in September of 2008, my youngest child, 12 pregnancies, 10 living people here this time, my youngest child was 3 months old. A huge force, much like Stranger Things. My dad saw the force. It looked like some of the bad dudes and dudettes in Stranger Things. A monster, spoke through my voice. And Dad was the only one who could exorcise it off me. Dad did not know I am an archangel. He did not know about his son. He knew nothing. And all I know at this point is that my mother's family assumed too much glory, put expectation on me, hurt my Beaty-Coffey family, and Curtis, as well as some of my children, hate the day, literally, that Curtis turned to me and said, "You're going to write a book called Uncovered No More." It turned into 3 books. The middle one was straight up to the church and is destroyed completely. I have 1 copy left of a white stone. I'm a white stone until I evolved. And that's all I want you to know right now. And Curtis has a lot of suffering in his life because people were fighting him and me. And now we have habitual patterns in our family that some of younger generations are stubborn to give up, and they don't want to put their differences down. And so that in and of itself is mildly sadistic. Millennials particularly have no problem with mildly sadistic behavior, and they are a bad example to Gen Z which is a large swath of people. Let me redefine what millennial is for my ministry and perspective, because I am done here. The birth date of my fourth child, who is my doppelganger, and you don't know what that date is, but I will tell you it's a September birth, is the starting point for millennial. So I don't give a rat's ass or a freaking fuck what the internet says. This is Archangel Tara, and I will kick your ass. I don't care who you are. And I've been this way to a degree, and people think they can come up and pull shit with me. One of the shit pulling abilities is every time you get around that girl, you just talk about all the negative things about her and us and this and that. You know what? I walk into homes who've known me my whole life, and they are establishing beauty. Like me and my family that's here in Manor. That is me. That is working in unity with me. And you, whomever you are, millennial that I just reestablished, on up, you come around me and you shit on my life, and you are going to have your karma changed, or already have. Because when people are disrespectful to me that are younger than me, shit happens. I have story after story. And it's just correction from the king, not me. You need to understand something about me. Fam, and public fam, and enemy, and foe, and public foe. As in social media foes? Because I got them. Oh yeah, I got them. Any power that I spoke through in typing with a lot of hard work while people were hammering on me and calling me mentally ill for years, any of the power, any of the ability came straight through the king releasing it in my life. I didn't know where he was at that point. I can tell you exactly where he is now on any given day, how he got there and all that. And that is none of your business, because he has to stay under the wire to protect Tribe Judah. And that ain't just me. I will tell you this because it's obvious. The King of Kings knows exactly how much elect Tribe Judah are in the world system right now. And that's his job, is to keep us safe. And he already knows that. And no, I'm not talking about Job in the Bible, so you can go fuck yourself. If I want to beautifully quote the Bible because it's living to me and it's history and it's being evolved out of, but not the actual premise of the words of the King of Kings in the book. If you want me to properly quote it, stay away from me, because y'all are way past your limits with Beaty-Coffey of the Ministry of Uncovered No More. Way past. This stripped out way too far. Okay, now I'm going to go to my pleasant side, because I'm about to draw Phantom Wise Tarot, and I really do not want this vitriol in my life. Let me get back to my previous life. Shystery, 11/9/2022. So why don't you go check your dates and see what vitriol you were pouring on the internet on the 9th of November, 2022. Because I stated shystery, hashtag all capitals, SHEISTORY. The primary great spirit force of shystery is Shekinah, all capitals, hashtag SHEKINAH. Shekinah, the glory of God, and it will be added to this portion. It's page 13 for you 9 ministries that I can remember. There's only one ministry that passed through the fires with me properly, not any of the people, the ministry, and that is Streams Ministries International. And I asked Diane Jackson to forgive me when her husband died because people were cursing me, and it stripped straight through to him, and she lost her husband. Because people like power. People knew I had power. People didn't give a fuck about me. Not one fuck. I was a piece of shit to be used. And if you don't understand that the Christian church and the Catholic church about using women, go to bed. Literally, just ignore us. Because you're a piece of shit that weighs down good people universally. You need to just, embrace your actual history. You don't need to read a bunch of books to figure it out. It's as plain as the nose on your beautiful face. And I did call your face beautiful. But this whole shit show thing that goes on because of social media stuff and little fights in families and all that, bye. Goodbye. That's why I'm solitary pagan. My kids can't even understand how I can be agnostic and solitary pagan at the same time. That's hilarious to me. I didn't have to read about that. It just makes sense. And nobody has the guts to ask me what the truth is. So everybody back down. I will give you a quote. One quote from Uncovered No More, Volume 3, page 13. I happen to have one Twitter that has 13 followers, if I'm not mistaken. So there's the big duh. The king again, calling me to the proper place. Has he read your book here? I have no idea. I have no idea. I only know that there were witnesses, and a shit ton of them, when I showed up at that UPS store, and I made sure that the people who were interested, obviously standing there, interested, could see the labels of the churches so that they could help their people. And if you think that's funny, then you don't know the life I have lived from September of 2008 to this modern Stranger Things days. And no, I'm not watching Stranger Things. Yes, I do have it in my stuff. I can't watch the pain of my own family. I can't. I was explaining this on Twitter yesterday. I'm watching the Star Trek The Next Generation. That's hashtag TNG in all capitals. And flat out told somebody, I'm finished with season 1. I'm going to purchase season 2. I can't buy season 3. I remember as a teenager, which I'm surprised my parents were letting me watch TV at that point, but my dad seemed to know how to take his controls off better than my mother back when I was a teenager. Curtis is like my mother. He has a hard time relinquishing control, particularly of daughters. And if you want to get on to him, go read those rape statistics of children, little girls particularly. So go fuck yourself. But it's happening to boys too. I'm a healer. I know what they've been through. But if they use what they've been through to be a victim, which I've got people in my life doing that constantly, they're the ones that need to get over themselves. Go fuck yourself, literally. If you need to do sex yourself in your privacy, do it. Light candles, do a lot of things. Take in my ministry. Hard as it is to understand, bitches, I am understandable. I have met the king numerous times on the earth. This is way past anything anybody should have done to me. I should have as big of a nurturing team as Bobby Conner has. Because in my world now, the evolved world now, Bobby Conner is a pasty, white, fat boy who decided not to evolve and even encouraged like my husband, and it caused issues in my marriage. I wrote ministries, some of these ministries, like Rick Joyner of Morning Star Ministries. I wrote them and said, I've got to protect my marriage. Years ago, I have to remind Curtis because He doesn't want to go back into church. He doesn't want to do this and he doesn't want to do that. And he's got to find out what he does want to do with his life after the King of Kings, through my ministry as Archangel Tara, delivered the whole family. But I still have people coming in and dissing on me because they're angry. Let me tell you this. You can give me one sentence, whomever you are, and you know who you are. You can give me one sentence. I know exactly what you are still mad at me about. You shouldn't pick me apart like that. And I have already released a YouTube saying, you want to tell me what I supposedly did to you to hurt you? Because when people do that to me, they annihilate all the service that I gave them, the church, whatever. All of it. And of my older children, the only person who is not sinning in that anymore and got therapy to help him with one of his sibling relationships is my son, Patrick Stephen Beaty-Coffey. Let me say that again. Patrick Stephen Coffey Beatty. He is more balanced than anybody, and we still have differing opinions. We know what not to talk about. And he's the one that was forced to take Weir Loop, because this current generation of American Christianity, Catholicism, doesn't believe that an actually strong woman like myself should own a property, is what's stripped through. I can't talk about it in my family. They think I'm blaming them. The problem is y'all had free will way more than I did when my mother was struggling and my mother's family was pestering my parents and controlling them. I didn't have free will. I had the responsibility to take care of my parents. That's biblical and otherwise. And you're forgetting some basic tenets of what I've actually been through to be saying some of the things close up that you're actually saying. And I am talking about around my birthday, because after that, I have people around me that are nurturing me now. And they're making it very obvious. And that heals me. And some of them are people younger than me that I actually grew in my body. If anybody has any questions, no, I'm not attacking my family. I am being honest because I am forced to it, and I hate this. Now, let me read about page 13, because I was called to it. I've had several divine appointments today. Tomorrow is my Uncle Paul's. He went to sleep and came back. I've only seen him once in a body form in Oak Hill. He's not showing his body, but I can tell when he's in the house with me. I can tell when he's talking to me. And if you don't like that, go watch Harry Potter, because I'm normal and you're not. And I actually have someone in the house who loves Harry Potter and studies it, and I'm going to spend time with them. I also was given, some of the people still struggling, I wanted the Mario gaming center, because honestly, I need to get into this generation and I need more to do with time on my hands. And I got a grandchild who I'm pretty sure the parents will give me permission to play Mario, the nice children's games, when that child is whatever age they choose to let them do that. But grandma coming over with books and Mario is a huge treat. Huge treat. And I want to be that grandma. I want to be the treat. I constantly give my baby puppy and kitty, grandbaby puppy and kitty, presents of the houses that actually I honor, because some of them won't shut their doors to me, and I know why, and that's none of your business, America. I got to bind up the brokenhearted in my midst. You go do it for yourself, but let me tell you, if you're a Republican, you ain't going to do that. Now, this is actually, I'm channeling Ralph Waldo Emerson this morning. Have out my Phantom Wise Tarot. And so Uncle Paul died on April 19th, 2010, and my mother died on April 19th, 2019. 9 years apart exactly. And hymn sung at the completion of the Concord Monument 19 of April 1836 was written by Ralph Waldo Emerson. And the poem under it is The Problem. I know about that. I haven't put any color to this one. I first read it March 29th, 2023. So that's how it's going for me. Ralph came in. Uncle Paul's here. I've already admitted to you. And I just automatically go to the books. And this has been happening to me for years. I just don't talk about it because I don't want people to feel less than me around me. Does that make sense, bitches? Because I am so fucking tired of your games. I'm so fucking tired of your games. Let me say that one more fucking time. I'm so fucking tired of your games. I am who I am. I always treat you like you are beautiful. I've apologized a billion times for the mistakes or the sin, if that's what you want to call it, in your midst. Why don't you start coming up to me and telling me, you know what, I was really actually very hard to raise, wasn't I? And I have been a bitch, and I have misled younger children, stuff like that. And you can come up to me if you're my kid or not my kid. I'm a mother already, like the womb of God already. Hashtag Sorceress Tara. Okay. I think I've cleared the air. I have to be really careful when I read my Uncover No More because of the bitch load that happened to me and my family when Curtis turned and said, you're going to write a book and it's called Uncover No More, and then all hell broke loose. And I'm not telling that story anymore. You have to have the book. I don't know why I think this, but I have a feeling the king confiscated the books and said, back it the fuck down because, you know, all's fair in love and war, and I do know he loves me, not like that, just loves me. Platonic. Again, he's the one that knows how many tribe Judah is out there. And, you know, if you want to get onto him for loving particularly all of tribe Judah on the earth right now, Mr. Jesus, what am I supposed to say to them? Great Spirit's talking to you right there. I ain't got nothing to say. Sounds of silence. That's all I got to say. Hello, darkness, my old friend. I quoted that in my first book. When I talk to you like that, that's Lilith. Okay? Okay. Let's read it. However, when I pontificate in commentary, it is more like I am asking any reader to think through this thing with me so that you can have your faith, hope, and love levels increase according to 1 Corinthians 13, as I have had happened to be writing this book. I am a pagan there. I haven't drawn a rune for this yet. And now I know that the king himself, excuse me, that's just Baymax peeing. He has attitude this morning. I know now that the king really doesn't like the Apostle Paul. I could interpret that. You go check that Twitter, and I'm not going to tell you which one. We had a discussion. The last discussion he chose to have publicly with me, thank you, sir, was about CBD and hemp and all of that. None of your business what I'm doing. But he got me over some of my fears on a private level, and I went and got what I needed. And I'm kind of funny. All of you purveyors of all of that beautiful stuff that's legal now, those are really high doses. I want you to encourage you to be like me. Only need to take about a quarter of one of those biscuits. Don't use it so much that it loses its potency in your body. Skip days already, fuckers. Right now, I have a portion of tea, fresh basil with a couple of other, like sage and thyme, because I'm also making broth, both of which will help me go to sleep. I'm going to brew a tea tonight. to help me go to sleep. I'm not necessarily going to take the products I'm taking. I have less pain today in my joints and stuff from having COVID-19, December of 2022. I don't let myself get hooked on anything except for coffee and teas with a little caffeine. I'm a little hooked on caffeine. I need to go back to taking a baby aspirin at night. I also take blood pressure medicine. Do you have any questions? Okay, I'm finishing. I had a cup of coffee with cream. I'm finishing a cup of tea, Earl Grey, HEB brand, with one sugar cube. I have to be careful so that I don't trip my acne on my face. And the bag was steeped for about 3 or 4 minutes while I got some other things going on, because I'm going to do broth. I'm going to marinate some chicken breast and stuff like that. So I got some stuff out of the refrigerator, cleaned some stuff out. I'm not going to water plants until by 8 o'clock tonight, in which I'm going to go into a solitary pagan state again. I am about to read to you this poem in preparation for this blog article, and then I'm going to move on today because I actually need to switch over to using my animal tarot with the miracle ball and talk about something else, and I am not convinced that's going to be a blog article. I think I may type that one because I'm tired. If you want the honest truth, YouTube's easy. Write your thoughts down in 3-tiered articles using tarot and runestones and see if maybe you can come up to my level, bitches. Because you destroyed my life, and then you went after my family, and now we're still having issues in our private lives, and I hate you, America. I hate you. Righteously. So, King ain't too pleased either. I already know that. He's probably around here somewhere unseen, is why I'm talking this way. No, I can't sense him right this moment. The last time I saw him, I know who he looked like. And it was Snoop Dogg, who I love. Looked like him. Because that dude is real. So there's your savior today. White America. Snoop Dogg, not the king. Because that's who he looked like. Except for he was taller. Got it? Yeah, I've had this happen before too. The last incident like that was at Monkey's Nest. He had to clear all that shit out. I tried to have friends. It didn't work. That was a long and hard journey. Hymn, sung at the completion of the Concord Monument, 19 of April, 1836. Sweet loves, how many sixes are in that? How many nines? Number of man, number of judgment. Hashtag Sorceress Tara. By the rude bridge that arched the flood, there flagged to April's breeze unfurled. April's Maybeebs. Here once the embattled farmers stood and fired the shot heard round the world. The foe long since in silence slept, alike the conqueror silent sleeps. I've already acknowledged Simon and Garfunkel's sounds of silence. That's how tightly woven Judas' testimony. He is in my life, and that is all glory to him. But he just wants to be normal, so it's not the normal him. That's the unseen him. And I have been trying to get people to stop with me and have your own relationship with the metaphysical side, unseen, deity, in all capital letters, neither male nor female. And I have people fighting me on that. In time, the ruined bridge has swept down the dark stream which seaward creeps. On this green bank by this soft stream we set today a votive stone, that memory may their deed redeem, when, like our sires, our sons are gone. It's just the sons, and nobody gives a fuck about the daughters. Still, Spirit that made those heroes dare to die or leave their children free, bid time and nature gently spare the shaft we raised to them in thee.